Hello, welcome to the stream, everybody. I did a classic Lloyd and with 20 seconds left on the time. But oh, I don't have any water, so I just dashed to go get some water. Welcome everyone. Happy Friday morning if you're of the Eastern Time Zone persuasion. Or new. Or we have a Dweeble. You like Pokemon trainers? Headed out and about, but you're lurking. Thank you, dancing. I appreciate it. Oh, congrats on your stream streak. I'm fidgeting because I got this really comfy blanket this weekend. My weekend. A few days ago. And, it got all stuck up in my chair ways. But welcome in, everybody. Josh, congrats on getting first. Hello. Guru, welcome in. I have some chicken nuggets I set aside for you, so it might be cold, but you know. When you mentioned hash browns, I was like, oh no, I want a hash browns now. See, I'm just gonna move some things around on my end, nothing you can see. Okay, perfect. But yes, so, we're live today. We are gonna be watching the Accessibility Summer Showcase. I'm gonna get all the dates wrong if I try to say like when certain things start and end, but there's a Steam event that's going on if you're a PC gamer, so this is sort of just culminating and showcasing all of these really cool games. I'm very, very excited to do this. Oh, and just to let you know, you're much more quiet than the showcase volume. Perfect, that was actually on my docket to ask questions. Let me scoot that down just a little bit. Right, if the calm intro music is loud, then we know how that's gonna be. Actually, I'm noticing my mic's doing some stuff. Okay, small chance that that's too quiet, but we'll start here and we can go ahead and adjust accordingly. Let's see. But yes. Laura on Blue Sky, that's how I met Laura. If you notice, Accessibility Showcase is on Laura's Twitch. Laura K Buzz is the channel if you want to support it. But I met Laura on Blue Sky, and Laura was looking for, I was just reaching out for folks who wanted to do press, and I reached back out after seeing their posts, and I was like, this sounds really cool. And so Laura encourages live streaming of the events and things. So awesome. So here we are trying something new for us. And yep, audio levels look a little bit better. I'm very excited. I'm so excited. I purposefully, because they released some of the videos ahead of time, some of the trailers for these games ahead of time, and I purposely didn't check them out yet. So this is the first time. I'm also on the fence on if I want to pause it at all, because it is a live event, right? But sometimes I like to, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I do. Thanks for being here, everyone. And I'm gonna post the VOD on YouTube as well afterward. So if anyone watching it later, hi, hello, welcome. Yeah, I know Steam always has, but I love these games featured. And do they have their sale? Does their sale start really soon? Just like sale? I think so. I try really hard not to jump on sales and have so many. It's the best time to get some of them. Man. Oh, we're starting.
Hello, and welcome to the 2026 Accessibility Summer Showcase. Now entering its 4th year, this event is still the only video game trailer showcase fully dedicated to highlighting trailers for games that have made an effort to be accessible to a wide range of disabled players. I'm Laura Kate Dale, better known online as Laura K Buzz. I'm a white woman with bright blue hair, shaved short on one side, wearing glasses and a deep blue dress. I know you're here for the video game trailers, so I'm going to try and keep this introduction brief. Over the next 45 minutes or so, you're going to see a bunch of trailers for upcoming video games. Some of them are being made by disabled game developers, and all of them are being designed to be accessible to as wide a range of disabled players as possible. We can't promise that every video game in the showcase will be playable by every person tuning in, but our aim is to make sure that if a game seems exciting, you know up front whether or not you're going to be able to play it. Our hope is that for most of you tuning in, there will be at least a handful of games shown during the showcase that will have the correct mix of accessibility settings and features that you need to be able to play the game upon release.
Oh, I love that.
If you want to see most of today's games in one place, organized by accessibility support type, you can check out our Steam event page by going to bit.ly/Summer Showcase 2026. There you'll find demos for some of our games, as well as be able to wishlist any games that catch your eye. Our headline sponsors for this year's Accessibility Summer Showcase are Minicat Studios and TechRaptor. I'll have more information about both of our headline sponsors a little later in today's showcase. Until then, a huge thank you to both of them for their support. The Accessibility Summer Showcase is a non-profit event, and their support has been invaluable in allowing us to once again offer American Sign Language, British Sign Language, and audio-described versions of the showcase. Well, that's enough from me. Let's jump into the game trailers.
Thank you, Laura. Oh, I'm actually
Hi,
really excited.
I'm Tommy, one of 3 stunning developers from Daydream Gallery, an indie game collective creating extremely cool and unique experiences. Trading Card Inspector is a quirky,
I'm sorry, the
hilarious
subtitles
take
are blocking
on the
it a little
cozy
bit,
job
but I think
simulator
this
for
is
a
what we've
job that
got.
doesn't and shouldn't exist. You'll be asked by the nefarious Habubis Corporation to value real cards and shred fake cards from their award-winning trading card game.
Shred them?
Along the way, you'll make friends, collect a handsome paycheck, and unravel a grand corporate conspiracy.
I love this art
Our
style.
art style isn't just super slick, cool, and cute, it's high contrast by default, with 40 color palette options for you to unlock and choose from. You'll be able
Wait,
to
dude,
pick
I
out the
love that.
colors you
Okay.
find easiest to see, or whatever colors you
Well,
find
it's
cool.
very Fallout, that Sapir one.
We've also added a pair of settings to increase the size of cards and memos.
The
Great
mascot's
for
so
players
cute.
using a small or handheld screen who may need assistance due to our 1-bit art style. We thought it was
1-bit,
really
okay.
important to avoid timed inputs. There can sometimes be a lot going on in Trading Card Inspector, so we wanted to give players all the time in the world to make the right choices, both in gameplay and in the story. There is one gameplay modifier that adds some challenge by slowly dissolving the valuation criteria on the card over time. If that's not your cup of tea, you can turn it off in the
Cool.
pause menu
I like
anytime and choose not to enable it in endless mode with
Toggleable
no penalty.
eye mechanics is
All
one
you
of my
need to play
favorite
Trading Card
approaches to
Inspector
that sort
is
of
a mouse
accessibility.
or any pointing device where you can left click and drag.
Look
It's
at
as
this
simple as that.
shredding
You can also
animation
play
in the
this game
corner.
on
I
your
love that.
controller or on your Steam Deck.
Oh, is that a
In addition
fidget
to the
spinner?
mouse controls, you can also press the up, down, left, and right arrows on your keyboard or controller D-pad to change the value amount. In addition to all of that, we have custom volume controls as well, and a dedicated option to remove unwanted rotation from our cards, making them easier to read. Big thanks to Laura for putting this showcase together every year and for letting us be a part of it. We hope to see you when Trading Card Inspector launches very soon, this June.
Oh, that's exciting. Yeah, time-specific mechanics are something that when I consider making a game, I want to avoid or have a toggleable option, so that's really cool. Torment
Welcome to
Hexes.
Torment Hexes, a game about trying to fix the world, one dead CEO at a time. You're an ex-battle mage who has decided to solve the problem of capitalism by ejecting its leaders out the nearest window. Torment Hexes mixes tactical roguelike combat and match 3 puzzling into a Magitech cyberpunk setting.
They keep adding more. I'm in love with it, but they
Gameplay
keep
is
adding more
turn-based,
information.
with no time pressure on any inputs. It can be played with a mouse, keyboard, or gamepad. And of course, input bindings can be remapped.
Nice.
Visual effects like scan lines and bloom can be disabled for increased visual clarity. And for people with photosensitivity, we've added an option that swaps out the most intense visual effects with more simplified and subdued versions.
Interesting.
The
Oh,
most
here's a
exciting
comparison.
thing we're trying to do with Torment Hexes is make it accessible to
Progress
blind
Pride
and
flag.
low-sight individuals. The game exposes a running narration of events to the operating system,
art
which can be
style.
vocalized by screen reading software like NVDA.
Look at the dynamics on that armband.
Tile is threatened by Ghost Alpha at F3. Delete your Alpha at D7. You can move left to E7. You can move right to G7. You cannot move up to F6.
Oh, that's a cool feature.
You can move down to F8, but Tile is threatened by Ghost Alpha at F3. Wealth Mage Alpha at B1 with 20 health. Raptor Alpha at C7 with 15 health. Delete your Alpha at D7 with 20 health.
This is challenging work.
I'm obsessed.
The game has a lot going on,
Yeah.
and it's difficult to present the information the player needs to know as a linear sequence of words. We're working with consultants in the accessibility community to iterate on the tech, and we hope that the final game will be one that everyone can play.
I love that. I love that. The art style, the music, and then they added the premise while they were describing it. And I was like, wait.
In Colorbound, color is more than just hue. In this palette platformer, he plays Anku, an Aymara boy on a journey to reunite his late grandfather's band. Travel across
Opposite
the diverse
vibes.
landscapes of the Andes,
I'm in love still.
solve unique color-based puzzles, and experience a heartwarming narrative steeped in South American culture. To keep
This is
the
so
world vibrant
warm.
while accommodating colorblind players, Colorbound includes 3 alternate color schemes. The Protanopia and Deuteranopia corrected palettes may be useful to those with red-green colorblindness, while the Tradenopia corrected palette can help with blue-yellow colorblindness. For additional visual accessibility,
If I even
players
use
can
those
disable
features,
camera
even though I'm
shake,
not officially colorblind,
increase
so
the
in
size
some
of the
games it's
UI
really
and
helpful
cursor,
for me.
and adjust resolution. Colorbound is designed to be approachable for players with limited mobility. Though there are some puzzles that involve timed inputs, they never require button holds or rapid presses. Full input remapping is available for keyboard, mouse, and controller. All mouse inputs can be remapped to keyboard controls, so the game is playable with just a keyboard. There are also presets for one-handed controls, allowing players to comfortably play the game with left or right hand alone. There are no time limits on puzzles or penalties for making mistakes. Most puzzles can be solved in only a few moves. If you ever get stuck, hints are available in all levels.
Oh, hints. I wish more games had
Type
hints.
Studio, with support
Like, or
from
like a
Whitethorn
journal.
Games, has worked hard
Especially
to
if
make
I've
the
walked
game as
away from the
inclusive
game,
and
but
accessible as it can be. We hope you will
memory
enjoy
is
playing
sometimes a
Colorbound,
problem for
releasing
me.
later this year on PC and consoles.
I love that. Cozy vibes. The detail about platforming and not needing to do holding button
Hi there,
inputs.
my name
That's
is
such a good
Elisabeth
detail.
Siversen, also known as Arevia Online, and I am a disabled gamer and accessibility consultant from Norway. I'm a pale white woman in my 30s with dark blonde hair, wearing a green jacket and a white t-shirt. The next game that is coming up is the first big Norwegian game I have had the honor to be an accessibility consultant for. Working with the developers at Megapop has been an incredible experience, both due to their constant want to learn and adapt to new information, and due to
This
their
isn't the
hope of
point,
making
but I
this
love
the
her
most
office.
accessible reef builder out there. From the first time I met the dev team at Megapop, it has been obvious to me that they truly value and understand the need for accessibility in gaming. They have tirelessly met every barrier I have pointed out with creativity, trying to expand what accessibility can be in this genre, while at the same time understanding their own limitation. It was especially impressive to see how Siv, the UI and accessibility programmer, worked with making this game fully playable with both a controller and mouse only, developing an option for on-screen camera control and zoom. And with that, let me introduce you all to the next game, made by Megapop and out now. This is Life Below.
That's phenomenal to hear that a consultant not only was consulted,
This is Life
but was
Below,
listened to and
a
felt
city
listened.
builder that takes place in the ocean, a reef builder.
Accessibility has been a priority for us since the start. The goal is to make Life Below as fun and playable for anyone who wants to play it. That means not just adding some settings, but trying to bake in accessibility into the game itself.
Let me show you what I mean. We can start by picking a difficulty mode. We have peaceful, challenge, and then we also have balance.
I will
We,
always
of course,
advocate
have
for
to add time
difficulty
controls,
modes.
and most people don't think of this as accessibility, but it allows you to pace the game however you want. We also
It's a
have some
dynamic
settings related
accessibility
to that, like
feature, in my
pausing
opinion.
during critical moments automatically, pausing when the game is unfocused, like when your cursor leaves the screen, or if you're in a very complex menu. We've also added a bunch of tooltips to help you guide through the game.
that.
My favorite example is when you're placing down buildings. The coral is red, and it's explaining to me exactly why I can't place it here. We have a few UI settings, like changing the scale here, change the transparency of UI objects,
Ooh, okay.
and reduce the motion in case you get motion sick. You can
Yes,
control the camera
yes, I do get
sensitivity
motion
and
sick.
the scroll sensitivity and a few other motion settings here.
Life Below is compatible with pretty much anything that your computer recognizes as a controller, something like a gamepad, but also like an Xbox adaptive controller. But you can also play the entire game with just a mouse, with the on-screen camera control setting, which opens up the game to be played with the eye tracking technologies. We also can't forget about the rebinder menu, where you can rebind most actions, which lets you infinitely customize the way you interact with Life Below. We've also got other motor function based settings in here, like input cooldown and stamp style multi-selection, and we've been really careful about not adding any QuickTime events or rapid button presses into the game. We are super proud of the features, however there are some things we couldn't add. Text-to-speech and high contrast UI modes will sadly not be available. The game is also stereo only, so you can't switch it to mono audio. And although we do have difficulty modes, you can't change
This
these
transparency
in the middle of
is
the
so
game.
good.
We felt like that was kind of important to mention. Okay, so to summarize, we have custom time control with unique cognitive settings, UI scaling and reduced UI animations, motion sickness settings. The game can be played with just a mouse, but we offer a variety of control methods, and additional motor settings.
I love how much
We
I'm
got to see
already
you
falling in
and
love with the
Reef
game.
in Life
This
Below.
just covered the accessibility features, but the parts I saw about the game was enough to get me interested. It looks so nice.
Enough wasting time.
Okay, we're not wasting time. What's up? Okay, we've got rats.
Let's get to work.
Hello, I'm Fabrice
Hello.
Breton, a French developer. You might know my previous game, Brock the Investigator, an adventure game mixed with beat 'em up, which has full accessibility to blind players. This is our new project, Social Strays, made in collaboration with Cypher, an American friend, artist, and
Look at these
writer.
characters.
In this game, taking place in the same dystopian universe, we are exploring a group of rat characters named Squealers in a visual novel focused on survival, where you make choices that matter with multiple endings. The game has full voice acting, and the accessibility offers narrated menus,
Okay.
large fonts, hotspots with arrow keys, and more. I'll add audio descriptions for the release. A demo is available on Steam, GOG, and itch.io, and I invite you to wishlist Social Stories on Steam.
It's worse than I expected.
Wow, the voice acting. Like it all is just like so much personality to it.
Nowhere left to run to now. Jeez.
I don't know their first game. They mentioned that they had a first game. And in this universe, I may have gotten the details confused on that, but that looks so cool. It's neat. Right back to the cozy. Right back to the cozy.
I'm Evie. This is my room. I like purple. People always say I see the world differently, which is weird, because I can see it just fine. Oh, the leaves are so crunchy. It's the hearing it, and the smelling it, and the everything at once thing. That's the tricky part. But I have a system. My favorite pen. Why is it here? You figure out what things mean. You put them in the right order, and sometimes the world gets a little quieter.
Canvas of Thoughts was built around different ways of experiencing the world.
I'm seeing some sensory
I
overload.
did most of it.
Sensory-aware gameplay and player-paced interactions.
Tick, tock, tick, tock.
Customizable accessibility settings, including colorblind support and adjustable dialogue pacing. A safe space to slow down, stim, and recover. Created alongside neurodiverse community feedback.
I was feeling some
I like
autism representation,
some
but I
parts.
just got confirmation in some of the words that were popping up.
really well sometimes.
Ich verstehe Liebe nicht. It looks like someone forgot this here. I need to bring them in order. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O.
Hey, why do you always draw by yourself?
You can pick how you
Because
respond.
It's quieter.
Wow. Oh, I really related with a lot of that. A lot of managing, like identifying you're overstimulated, and also how you respond to the people that are trying to either help you or
Wishlist
interact with
Canvas
you.
of Thoughts on Steam.
Oh, that one looks interesting.
Hello
Autism the
again.
game?
I hope you're enjoying the
Exactly,
showcase
yeah.
so far. I'm popping in briefly to tell you a little bit more about this year's headline sponsors.
I love her
Manycat
hair.
Studios
I was
and
distracted
TechRaptor.
earlier when she did the
Manycat
intro.
Studios is a disabled-led accessibility consultancy. supporting game studios in building inclusive and accessible experiences from concept to release. As a disabled-led team, Manycat Studios partners with the games industry to create more accessible games, ensuring that players of all abilities can participate in their love of gaming. The studio operates with authenticity and a commitment to a healthy, sustainable remote work culture. TechRaptor.net is a games media website, founded back in 2013, that publishes high-quality news, reviews, opinions, features, and guides for both video games and tabletop games. As someone who has been a staff writer, freelancer, and editor at a number of major games media websites over the last decade, I can vouch for the quality of writing and reporting over on TechRaptor. They have a firm anti-AI stance and put a portion of their profits each year towards supporting great causes.
Love a lot of this, but
you can find their coverage at techraptor.net. I imagine by the time you're seeing this, there'll already be a great write-up of the 2026 Accessibility Summer Showcase live on their website. Thanks again to both Manycat Studios and TechRaptor for their support of this year's showcase. Their support has made our accessible adapted showcase variants possible. Anyway, time to get back to the game trailers.
I've never heard of TechRaptor. I'll check them out.
Hi, I'm Yamako, a solo indie game developer, and I make games under the name ./badgames.zip. This is my first project, released last October, called An Unplayable Game.
I love this.
It's a short puzzle platformer that's about accessibility settings in video games, with half an hour of developer commentary that's unlocked when you reach the end.
Oh.
The game is designed to fully accommodate players who typically can't play platformers because of the dexterity and timing that's required to play them. It's only about 15 minutes long at most to avoid fatigue, and it was designed for comfortable mouse-only single-button controls.
This feels like it'd be very informational to play.
You won't need to hold down any buttons or keys, as it's completely beatable with only short presses. You also don't need to worry about dealing with tight timing, even on difficult jumps. There are game speed settings that let you play entirely at your own pace with no timed input whatsoever.
In my mind, platformers are notoriously difficult to make accessible. I'm very interested in this.
There's also a toggle to switch it to Atkinson Hyperlegible, which is a sans serif font with a focus on distinct letter forms. As a final note, the main menu does include an ongoing static noise, but for those who are bothered by those repetitive noises, there's a prompt to mute that sound effect completely before you even reach the main menu for the first time.
Oh, okay.
So, if you don't want to hear it, you never have to. An Unplayable Game was a huge passion project for me, and I truly hope you enjoy it. So far, it's been nominated for 3 awards, and even won an award for Most Innovative Game at a local indie game showcase event.
Yeah, I bet.
It also has a 94% very positive review score on Steam, and it's free, downloadable on Steam or playable in browser on itch.io.
Oh, I do gotta.
Thank you for your time and for your interest in An Unplayable Game. Now, please enjoy the rest of the showcase.
Unplayable game, okay.
Highway Noir is a stylized arcade driving game that drops you into car chases straight out of an action movie. You will weave through traffic as you escape police, take down enemies, and race against the clock, all in stark black and white with flashes of colour.
I love stylized art.
In the main menu of Highway Noir, you can jump into Instaplay mode with a single click. Optional customization of features like objective, number of police, and traffic density are available. For the campaign, a story so far recap is offered, but no spoilers here. Moving on. Story missions include voice dialogue to drive the plot and feed you objectives. The volume of dialogue, music, and sound effects can all be adjusted separately, and subtitles are on by default. Tone tags can be
love the quest icon is in the top corner the whole time it appears. I love that.
For a moment
I need that myself.
I was worried there wasn't a plan.
Minimalist white text on black fits the neo-noir aesthetic, but it can be tweaked for visibility. There is an option to simply increase the size of all UI elements on screen, as well as a toggle to black text on white.
Oh wow.
For gameplay itself, Vision Assist will emphasize obstacles and gameplay elements. Objectives, threats, and rivals are always color-coded, so you know what you're dealing with. The color codes can be customized for palettes with colorblindness-friendly options. Highway Noir is fast and chaotic, but even here help is at hand. A game speed slider allows you to slow down the action, giving you more room to breathe. That action can be controlled by keyboard, controller, or even mouse alone.
I love that.
All of these settings can be used independently to give you maximum control over your experience. Make the road your battleground and take down the conspiracy in whatever way works for you. Highway Noir is out now and available
So
on Steam.
cool. Different art styles give different
the world is a
challenges,
giant jigsaw
accessibility, and they dealt with a lot of them. That was amazing.
Cast away on a mythical island that is broken
Love
into
this.
many pieces.
Love this.
Connect puzzle pieces to explore new paths, discover hidden items, and reassemble the scattered world. Just like life on the tropical island you washed ashore on, the game moves at a relaxed, stress-free pace.
I'm
Complete
mesmerized.
puzzles and platforming sections without any time limits or punishments for failure. There are no quick-time events, long button holds, or rapid presses. As you reassemble Jigrift Island, you'll meet the three-eyed frogs who call it home. If you ever get stuck on a puzzle, some of them might be able to give you a hint. Progress dialogue at your own speed and repeat
They're so
conversations as
cute.
often as you need. For example, you can replay the tutorial by talking to Henriette in her house on the starting island.
Okay. That's cool.
Rebinding is available for keyboard and controller inputs. You can separately invert controls for camera movement, zoom, and puzzle piece movement. There are a few options to help with visual accessibility. Choose between 4 cursor sizes: small, default,
Ooh.
large, and extra
You
large.
don't know this, but my
Swap
personal
between
mouse,
light or dark mode for
ginormous
text
on the
boxes.
screen.
Increase the field of view to see more of the world, or decrease it to reduce
Them
distractions in your
on
periphery.
their tongue
The
swings
teams at
is
Empty
killing me.
Castle and Whitethorn Games are so excited to share Jigrift with you.
No.
Look forward to the release later this year on PC and consoles.
Oh, he's so cute. Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
Hi, I'm Colo.
Colo.
I'm a disabled gamer and content creator, and you can find me primarily on Twitch, but in all of the other places under the name Hello, it's Colo. When thinking about why games accessibility is important to me, it's a really interesting one because actually, it's not really about the games. Hear me out. It is about the games. I love gaming. Gaming is my job, it is my hobby, it is my community. It is about the games, but actually it's more than that. When a game is accessible for me, it's about being included. It's about being invited, being acknowledged.
Yep.
It's about being able to access something as independently as possible or completely independently in a world where independent access isn't actually that common. So when a developer adds accessible options, to me, it's important because it's an acknowledgement.
Yep.
It's a recognition.
There's like
It's
intentionality
we
with
see you and we haven't excluded you. And that is worth its weight in gold. Games accessibility is important to me because it allows me to do something independently, to have agency, to belong to a community, and to feel acknowledged. And also to play really cool games.
Also to play the
I
game.
know at the start I said it wasn't about games, but it's also about the really cool games too. So to all of the developers out there and the creators out there going out of their way to make their media accessible, thank you. It doesn't go unnoticed.
Yep. I couldn't add much to
I'm
that.
Talon,
No, yeah.
and I was one of the judges on the Games for Blind Gamers 5 Game Jam. As all of the previous jams, this one was a blast, and I want to talk you through some of the games that came out of this jam. We had a lot of groups this time around as well, so quite a bit fewer solo developers, which is always great to see. And nothing illustrates this more than the top 2 games that were selected by the judges for the Games for Blind Gamers Jam 5. The top spot is taken by Valencia Tales, and this one is an ambitious game, and it's heavily inspired by The Legend of Zelda, and it basically ticks all of the boxes. It's a first-person action-adventure game where your goal is to save Valencia from the clutches of evil. You do this by utilizing your divining rod, which basically lets you see what's around you in the world.
Okay.
So you can turn around and it will tell you what's in front of you and what's around you. It has features for locking on to different things like landmarks or buildings or waypoints. And it also helps you with combat. So it tells you how far away you are from an enemy. And all of these things happen in the game world. There's no separate fighting modality or anything like that. The story is really nice, and there's a bunch of cutscenes, and there are boss fights with different mechanics for different bosses. There are puzzles, small puzzles that you have to solve to progress from one area to another. And for a game made in such a short time, there's a surprising amount of variety in there, together with the music and the area descriptions and all of the dialogue.
They weren't kidding when they said this was an ambitious game for a game jam. That's
and I was
unbelievable.
definitely surprised to play it as a
For anyone unfamiliar, game jams are typically there's a start and an end date, a couple of days if that.
Finder. Have I never shown you before? It's this rod that helps me find my chickens when they get out. It looks mighty fancy, but I'm pretty sure that's all it does, finds chickens.
We tend to not get these kinds of games very heavily, especially not these ambitious kinds of games. But we got multiple of them this year because number 2 in the list is Impulse Response, which is a game oozing with atmosphere and amazing voice acting and a gripping story, which I don't want to spoil too much because I think both of these games are definitely worth playing through. It's a first-person puzzle game, I would say. There's a number of puzzles which get progressively more difficult as you play through the game, and with each one you complete, you unlock more of the story, which is basically told by your characters as you progress through the game. You uncover clues as you go. It's a horror-themed game, so the music and the voice acting and all of the sound effects match that atmosphere perfectly. And this one has a special mechanic where the acoustics of the room are actually modeled in code. So you hear the reverb where the room opens up. You have a mechanic where you can basically clap or like tap your foot, and it will play a click sound, which will then echo through the room and tell you where you can go and where you cannot.
Setting?
Yellow alert. Reactor offline.
Hey, okay, shut up.
Yellow login success. Engineer Cadence. Quinn, welcome. Please complete health check.
Yeah, health check, then I can get out of the cryo room.
There's a fair number of logic puzzles in this, and I found those to be very enjoyable. Number 3 on the list is Delver's Folly, and this is quite a different game, but it's no less ambitious. It's a roguelike where you basically navigate through a dungeon. You're trying to find the boss. Every time you move to a different section of the dungeon, you get to choose from a list of 3 rooms, which could be, a lot of these rooms have different properties and different things that they can do. For example, you can grow things if you have the prerequisite rooms linking to it.
I can feel my brain expanding just processing these games and how they each approach this so differently.
Room or for keys or other things. And there's a lot of variety in this game. This one you can also play for a very long time, and there's a lot of replayability in this. There's also amazing voice acting in this, which gives the game a lot of character. I highly recommend you play this one if you like this kind of game. Number 4 is a game made by one of our regulars, Shift Backtick. In Omega Reach, you explore the universe. You are the curator of a conservatory, and you're tasked with finding instruments and interesting facts about planets and their surrounding space. There's a ton of content here, and you can play each of those instruments. And maybe it also has a dungeon of its own to explore. Some fun little characters, and the writing is definitely very unique and definitely very Shift Backtick. So if you love their games, you should absolutely play this one also. All of the sound design is synthesized in real time, but where most of Shift Backtick's games are first-person games, this one is a little bit of a different perspective. And number 5 is Fourfold Onslaught, a wave-based first-person zombie shooter with fantastic audio and lots of ways to upgrade your character as you play. The sound design in this one is fantastic. Lots of binaural audio goodness, and it definitely gets quite challenging as time progresses. There are so many games in this game jam that I think are worth playing, so I don't really have the time to go through all of them. But some notable mentions, And Then She Slept, which I would classify as a kind of Five Nights at Freddy's style game where you protect your sister from evil monsters and help her to fall asleep. Toasty, which is a fun little card game where
the
you
idea
have
looks
to
really
make toast and not sandwiches. Tape Memories, where you zoom in on different tracks of different audio to figure out what happened last night, and many, many, many more. We've had 35 entries in total, from maze games to visual novels, reaction games, side-scrolling platformers.
Yeah, I definitely want to go
Some games were more of a prototype, some were finished. So it was a nice bunch of different things this time around.
And here's the
This
thing
was
with
also the
accessibility in
first
games.
for Blind Gamers
Everyone
Jam
can
that
play it. These
happened
games aren't just
after
for blind
Godot
people,
added
right? Like,
Access Kit
that was
integration
the
to their games
context of
and
the event.
editor.
But
And this is an
everyone
exciting
can play
development because it
these.
means that for the first
Accessibility in
time,
games
blind people actually
should
get
be
access
more
to
mainstream.
a fully featured game engine without having to write everything by hand or use code-first frameworks. This should open up exciting new collaboration avenues in the future, because before now it was pretty difficult for blind and sighted developers to collaborate together if the sighted developers were already used to an engine-based workflow. So if you are a developer and you're thinking of making something like this, or if you're interested in audio games, or if you're blind and you want more games to play, I would highly recommend checking out the Game Jam and all of the previous Game Jams and keeping feelers out for any future Game Jams. Anyway, that's it from me, and I hope this was interesting to you.
Oh, that was so fascinating. That was phenomenal.
Hello again, everyone. I hope you're continuing to enjoy this year's Accessibility Summer Showcase. I'm just popping in quickly to let you know that art asset production for the showcase this year is sponsored by Riot Rockette, a queer art punk collective that blends elements of psychopop and circus dance in their live performances. Here's a brief snippet of one of their songs, Circadian Rhythm.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, gorgeous dogs, grotesqueries, we welcome you to a lovely evening with Riot Rockette. Feast your eyes on wonderful sights you'll see tonight. Bang, bang, shoot me down, bang, bang, here comes another round. Bang,
I love
bang, shoot me
this.
down, bang, bang, here comes another round. The carousel, it leaps and bounds, and here comes the clown. What you waiting for?
Their debut album, Idiot Savant Garde, is out now. You can find a link to it down in the video description.
Oh my goodness.
Hello everyone,
Hi.
we're the Ludenio team, and this is us in the game we're currently developing. It's called Super Weird. In this game, you and your friends, or all by yourself, control little robots, and you have an infinite number of them, but they are of very poor quality. They can walk, mine, carry stuff, craft various things, and fight. We are able to improve them, and we can program them, but the robots are of such poor quality that they don't even remember their own program and only execute the single command they encounter.
Oh,
For
that's
example,
phenomenal.
to mine, or to carry wood, or to use various items we've made for them. And this is how we build our massive automated system in a fragmented world. We're rebuilding it piece by piece, and these pieces are locations where we can discover new resources, advanced technologies, and even fresh sources of robots.
I'm a little
In the
stressed out,
end,
but this
our
is so
system
cool.
can help us defeat the main mega robot. That's why our system needs to be reliable and efficient. We want the world of Super Weird to be open to everyone, and to make it happen, we're focusing on these accessibility options. The interface is easy to adjust. You can increase menu contrast,
Sorry, I'm a dark mode
or choose a
person, so
color
now.
profile that best fits your vision. To help you stay
A
focused,
flashbang.
the cursor and tooltips can be scaled up, so important details are always in clear view. Neutral speech synthesis is available for interface and dialogues.
Upgrade yourself. Let's show those tin cans they're not any better than living beings.
You're free to choose the most comfortable look for your hero.
That kind of voice is
Every
so
color
soothing
scheme
for me
is
in the
designed to
game.
be easily
Immediately
readable
relaxes me.
in-game. Controls are fully remappable, and instead of holding down buttons, you can simply set your direction with a single click. Everyone is welcome in the world of Super Weird.
That was
Let's
really
build it
interesting, that
together.
directional input. So cool.
Hey everyone, I'm
Hi.
super excited to tell you a bit about Hurdles, our Spyro and Zelda inspired adventure game where you play as a magical dog. We are a small team of 3 people at the core, and the hero of our game is actually inspired by my real life companion. From the start, we wanted accessibility to be part of our design
That's so
philosophy instead of something we only think about at the end. One conscious choice we made was to keep the controls consistent throughout the game. You do not level up or unlock new powers. Instead, you rescue magical creatures called Hurdles, and they give you contextual abilities while keeping the control scheme the same. They let you
Oh, that's
bounce,
really neat.
glide, break walls, swim up waterfalls, and more. New Hurdles open up additional paths through our world, and they allow for all sorts of emergent gameplay. There are always multiple ways to progress, so where you go and what you choose to do is completely up to you. We also have puzzles in our game, but if a puzzle does not work for you, we do not want that to be a barrier. You can get hints, disengage easily, or use options including auto-solving the puzzle. There is no combat or death in hurdles. So if you miss a jump and fall down, you do not just respawn at the top and have to try again. Instead, you continue on your way and you might even discover something new, something you might have missed if you had made the jump. Speaking of jumping, we added options like platform snapping and ledge guard. For some players, these can make platforming less frustrating, and for blind and low vision players, options like these can be essential to making the game playable at all. We already have a lot of accessibility features in the game. Things like a high contrast mode that lets you define the colors, but also sliders for brightness, contrast and saturation. Options that let you play one-handed, or give you more control over character mechanics like changing how jumping or running works. Our options help with different types of motion sickness. We generally try to provide as many ways as we can to let you customize the experience to your needs. One of our favorite features is that everything that is a toggle in the options menu can be mapped to a button. So for example, if you only need high contrast in certain situations, you can bind it to a button. Then you just turn it on when you need it, do the thing, and turn it off again afterwards. We want accessibility to be accessible.
You can tell
not
the
hidden
game was
away in
developed
menus.
every step of the
Starting
way with
today,
accessibility
we
in
are
mind.
running a closed playtest with a focus on
He's just getting
accessibility
the sheep.
and would really appreciate your feedback. You can sign up now at playhurdles.com. The website also has a list of all current accessibility options available in the game.
Incredible.
If Hurdles seems interesting to you, please consider wishlisting and joining our community.
So cute.
Frame of Mind, a game of thoughts, plays with inclusion, representation and accessibility. It's made by me, a disabled developer, to
I'm
share
already
some
feeling so
experiences
much
and
about this
insights.
world.
You can expect easy controls, light mechanics and heavy topics. Frame of Mind has you discover a totally typical girl through finding mementos, listening to memories and making decisions that don't really have good answers. If that sounds difficult, maybe you can relate to her struggle, and perhaps even benefit from one of the aids you can find as you go through her room. I don't want to take that challenge away from you, but I do want you to make informed decisions about your own mental health. The premises and topics of the game are described in detail, so you can read
I find
up on what
content
to
warnings
expect.
are really...
Content notes will give you a heads up about sensitive issues.
Yes,
for each memento that you can
toggleable
find.
content warnings, yes.
And if you don't want to listen to the emotional retrospectives, you can choose to mute the voiceover or even skip as many of the memories as you want. But it's still a game to struggle with your feelings and not a game to struggle against my controls. So by design, it's very accessible for players with motor disabilities. It's a walking simulator with no complex inputs required. You can always save and come back later. And while there is one rushed story decision for you to make, you can help yourself in the settings if you really want to experience the time-sensitive timeline. In terms of sensory accessibility, I ensure legibility through good fonts, good contrast and proper scaling by default. If you need more control, you can adjust audio levels, reduce motion.
And it looks like they have an example. That's a big pet peeve of mine when there's settings in a game, but they don't show you what it would look like as an example, so that's very cool.
System configuration instead. Sadly, some of my original plans, especially full screen reader support, a simplified control scheme and closed captions, did not yet work out. But you can play the game blind with an assistant, and all important dialogue is always displayed via text. It's an imperfect game with an imperfect character by an imperfect developer. But hey, it's on theme, and I'm honest about it. An extensive list of supported features, planned features, and known issues is linked on our store page.
Frame of Mind. Okay, alright, you've got my attention. I'm seeing some gender stuff. I don't know if that's the direction it's going in, but
Hi everyone,
related.
my name is Leo. My pronouns are they,
Hi,
them, and I am a disabled gamer and accessibility advocate. Gaming accessibility is important because everyone should be able to access the self-care and social benefits of gaming. Games have connected me with so many wonderful people, including my husband and many of my friends. I cherish memories of meeting new people and connecting with others through a love of gaming. When I first became disabled, I was worried I would not be able to participate in those activities anymore because I could no longer use a standard video game controller. However, thanks to the work of incredible accessibility advocates before me, I've still been able to play many video games and make new memories. I'm thankful to the game developers in this showcase that have made accessibility a priority. If a game is made accessible for even just one more person, it makes a world of difference. I can't wait to see what this year in accessible gaming brings.
Hello again, I'm Yamako, and I'm a solo developer making games under the name ./badgames.zip, and this is Piecewise. It's my second game, and I tried to keep it pretty simple, just a daily puzzle game where the puzzles change every day. Though puzzles might be a bit of a stretch, the goal is to put each of these shapes in its matching slot, and gameplay-wise, you've got 2 hands to work with. That's where the skill expression, or skill ceiling, or whatever, comes from. Now, there's quite a lot of shapes and quite a lot of slots, and you've got limited time to get it done. And only your first try each day will get ranked on the online leaderboards. Everything after that is just practice, and you can practice as much as you want. But that first try, where you're seeing today's shapes for the first time, is pure skill, and that's why it's so important. So, I made this game with the personal goal of improving my skills as a developer, and I kept a small scope so that I could meet myself where I'm at, with a reasonable challenge for my skill level. And that's what I'm inviting you to do when you play Piecewise. You can fully customize the time limit to fit your skill level, since everyone's different. But no matter what, you'll want to make sure that time limit is challenging for you. Your chosen time limit will determine a multiplier that gets applied to your raw final time.
I can't even consider
In other
25
words,
seconds
the
for a
lower
task
that
like that.
you set your time limit, the more your final time gets reduced, and the better your ranked time becomes. So don't set the limit too low, or you'll fail and your run won't be ranked. But don't set it too high either, as too much of a safety net means that your multiplier will be worse. So instead of me making static difficulties, each player gets to set their own level of challenge, and you're encouraged to make it as hard as possible to get the best times. If you think you can beat the board in 30 seconds, you've got one shot to prove your skills. There are daily online leaderboards for each board in the game, if you like competition, but they're not really the focus. There's a full records browser for you to track your own personal skill improvement, and in the full version of the game, I'll be adding bonus modes for even more offline content. And finally, let's talk accessibility to round things out. Aside from the flexible difficulty, the game's colors are calculated to always guarantee high contrast, even though the colors change daily. On the topic of visuals, you're also able to turn off the floating shapes in the background in case that constant movement back there causes any kind of motion sickness. It'll instead be replaced with a static, solid color background. There's also an alternate toggle-based control scheme for players who might have trouble holding down the buttons, and, of course, an alternate font if you don't like the pixel text. And there's full controller support, alongside a mouse-only control scheme that supports one-handed play. It's a simple game, but I'm really proud of it. I had a great time making it, and I hope you like it. The demo is out now on Steam with an itch.io web build.
I wasn't sure just
soon,
how many different
and
types of
full game
directions you can
releasing
go.
soon after that.
That's so cool.
For updates and news, you can find Bad Games.
The concept stresses me out a
to
bit,
get important info
but
sent straight
they
to
did
your
an
email
incredible
for
job
free.
setting up the different ways to embrace the difficulty
Thank you
concept.
so much for watching my trailer. This took way too long to make, but I hope I explained everything well enough and made it understandable. I hope you liked the trailer, and I hope you thought my game looked fun.
That's so cool.
Thanks for watching again.
That looks
and
so
take
cool.
care.
Maybe like between like 1 to 3
Gather
days, you
your
could figure
allies.
out how long you might be a good thing to set
Transform into a
as your
magical
goal.
girl,
What do we
slay
got?
God.
Okay,
In Kernel
I'm back.
Hearts, fight your way through angel-infested domains alone or in a team of up to 4 players. Mix and match your attacks,
this
spells,
is
and
gorgeous.
movement in each run to unleash devastating combos.
Oh, is it a
on enemies.
roguelike?
The developers at
I
Ephemera
heard the word
Games,
run.
in collaboration with Whitethorn Games, have designed Kernel Hearts to challenge longtime action RPG fans, while being a welcoming experience for players
The
new to the
character
genre.
models and
There are 3
the
difficulty levels.
portraits
Story,
are very
for those
hot.
looking for a less intense, more narrative-focused experience. Normal, the default balanced experience, and Sinner, a hardcore mode for those looking for an extra challenge. Every rest area includes a playroom, where players can practice movement and attacks at their leisure. To make inputs easier to remember, there is an option to keep a list of controls visible on the left side of the screen at all times. Full remapping is available for keyboard and controller. players can separately adjust the sensitivity of the left and right analog sticks, invert their X and Y axes, and enable or disable vibrations. There are a variety of options for visual comfort. Toggle motion blur,
Nice.
bloom,
Motion blur
and
is a
screen shake
necessity for
effects
me.
to reduce eye strain while traversing the overworld. Text boxes are high contrast with white text on dark gray backgrounds. In multiplayer, each player can advance dialogue at their own pace, and combat won't begin until all players are ready.
Oh,
Check
okay.
out the public demo available now, and please look forward to the full release of Kernel Hearts this fall on Steam,
I was so
the Epic Games
distracted
Store,
at how
the
beautiful everyone
Microsoft
was,
Store,
but everything they
PlayStation
described is so
5,
cool.
Xbox Series S and X, and Nintendo Switch 2.
Fishbowl is a slow and tender
I want
narrative
to play this
game
one. I've heard about this
dreams,
outside of
grief, and
accessibility.
hope. Rediscover your memories and find your way into the present in this intimate experience where slice of life meets surreal. In Fishbowl, 21-year-old Alo gets her first job in a new city and lives by herself while grieving her grandma's death. You rediscover memories of Alo's childhood by sorting through her late
beautiful.
grandma's things. Take your time
The
to take
pixel
in
art
each
here on these
object. There are
assets
no
is
time limits
gorgeous.
here. You can also choose to skip the puzzles entirely. Fishbowl is a visual novel about becoming an adult and seeing your childhood in a new light. Have conversations with your friends and co-workers, turn off typing effects, or increase the font size for an easier reading experience. Alo works as a junior video editor for a social media star. In this arcade-style matching game, you can use both colors and icons to make sure the video clips reach the correct track. Slow down the speed of the snippets to suit your playstyle. Since the game deals with difficult topics, it starts with a gentle content warning, linking to a full content warning on our website that includes spoilers. As you slowly piece together the meaning of your dreams and memories, you learn more about the darkness in Alo's world. The visual settings let you turn
I know I'm
off
gonna feel a
screen
lot with that
shake
game.
and sway if you need to. We also have both visual and audio cues for events throughout the game. In Fishbowl, there are no right endings and no grinding. Do as much or as little as you're able to. Since we are a small team of 2, we weren't able to implement everything we wanted. Some of the things we couldn't get to were excluding the need for buttonholes during the unpacking puzzle and QuickTime events and forcing some timed input during the QuickTime events. Fishbowl is now available on Steam and PlayStation 5.
Hello everyone,
Hello.
I am Sightless Combat, award-winning multi-credited accessibility consultant and gamer without sight, as well as accessible gaming officer for RNIB, that is Royal National Institute of Blind People, the UK-based sight loss charity, and I am honoured to once again be returning to introduce a game at the Accessibility Summer Showcase. Now, the game in question is one that I had never heard of before this event, but was very interested when I heard the words fully blind accessible as a potential thing that was being aimed for during development. Now, this game is very much under my radar, and it is very unusual. It is quirky, it is interesting, and I reckon it has a sporting chance of being the highlight of people's shows. And also, the people who are really interested in it might be making a big racket about it. Yes, both of those are puns. Yes, both of those are relevant. Why are they relevant? Because this game is the Tennis Academy.
Phenomenal.
What is the Tennis Academy? In short, it is an anime-inspired, yes, tennis RPG.
So good. Oh my gosh.
Sounds ridiculous when you think about it, but also sounds really, really cool. Particularly given I saw mention of giant boss fights and heroic tennis battles on the Steam page, which I would highly recommend going and
Everything I'm hearing
is
is just...
the trailer if you like this.
I'm not
This is a
expecting.
solo game dev crafting this in Godot, which is also having accessibility work looked into by the community and various developers, which is really cool to see as well. I am really interested to see how this works when it comes out and when there are playable builds and things. But without further ado, I will let the trailer do the explaining, because I don't think I could do this justice.
You did a good job,
Tennis
but getting me interested.
Welcome to the Tennis Academy.
Look at these
Hi,
characters.
I'm Rob, the solo creator of the Tennis Academy, an RPG early in development. humankind used to be at war until the goddess bestowed us with the holy sport of tennis.
Phenomenal.
You're enrolled at New Tensington Academy, where you meet a tennis ball fairy named Servi, acquire powerful tenergy skills, save the school from monsters, and go on romantic dates with your doubles partner. My goal is to make the game completely blind accessible, meaning a blind player can play the entire game without needing a sighted player for help, and have just as much fun playing as well. If I, as a solo developer, can do this, then AAA has no excuse. To accomplish
Look at that game
this,
over
I'm
screen.
implementing a swath of accessibility features I'd like to share with you all. The first feature for navigation is a virtual cane. Researchers at Columbia University had promising results with this, and I think it could become standard practice in video games. Use the right stick to send out your cane, and the text-to-speech will tell you whatever it hits.
Street lamp, tree.
For quick and easy navigation, there's also a nav menu that can warp you to important NPCs and exits.
Gym, outside.
I'm also including audio descriptions for every environment. In any location, you can call Servi and ask her to describe the location in vivid detail as if your DM was describing a place in a D&D session.
Through the vaguely tennis ball-shaped window. Your computer desk suggests someone who's chronically online.
By the way, did you know that there are blind tennis leagues in real life? Matches in the game will take inspiration from this with sound-adapted tennis balls and the option to auto-run to the ball.
Sound-adapted tennis ball.
If you want to support your local queer indie game dev making a blind accessible game, you can help me out by hitting the wishlist ball on Steam and keeping
a couple of these games we've actually talked about on True Avatar is a Queer Video Game Podcast, which is really funny. I was like, wait a minute. That's so cool. That's so cool. Oh my gosh. Oh, was that our showcase? I think that was our showcase. Oh my gosh. Wow. I want to give it a second just in case there's an out. What's the word? A closing statement of any kind. But God, I've got so many games I'm fascinated by. My head is swimming with all of these ideas, and I find like a lot of the statements said that accessibility in gaming should be industry standard. If you're beyond the concept of everyone should be able to enjoy this thing, disabled people have money too. If you're a corporation that is just stuck on the idea of making money, disabled people have money. Like, it's just, yeah, like, it's not a small community that wants to be able to game. Like, there's so many people that would benefit from accessibility in gaming. And so, you know, there's some features that you might have heard me like talk about, like, oh, I use this, or I need this, and I need that, and not to like center my experience, but to kind of like normalize talking about which features make my experience playing a game really better, like improved. I wish it were an industry standard. Yeah, and it's just, there's so many things that I personally benefit from. Content warnings at the beginning of games. A few games here talked about toggleable content warnings. Love that. I'm all about informed consent in like whatever media you're consuming. For me personally, sometimes controller's better, sometimes mouse and keyboard's better. When they talked about difficulty settings, one of the games had, I think, 5 different difficulty options. And what's really cool about difficulty settings is certain days are better or worse than others for me. So the ability to change that is huge. Yeah, it just is so cool. Oh gosh, I've got so many here I want to go check out. But yeah, so thanks for hanging out with me today, everybody. I think we are gonna wrap up just so that we don't hit an ad. I've been snoozing an ad for a while now, and I think we're out of snoozes. But thank you for watching. Please go check out some of these games. A lot of them, a good portion of them anyway, seem to be free. And if you see any that you can't go out and buy right now, I highly encourage you wishlist. Wishlisting is free on Steam, and it's really huge for metrics for indie developers. So you want to show support but you don't have the money for it, I would recommend wishlisting. So like wishlisting, sharing the showcase with your friends, or anything you can do. So thanks for being here. If you're watching the VOD later on, thanks for checking this out. Let me know what you thought, and if there's any other events you'd like to see me live react to, please let me know, and maybe I can get that sorted. Thanks for the stream. Have a good day. Thank you, YouTube crew. Bye everyone. Bye.